Okay guys, this is part 1 on how to create a unicorn inside of Adobe Illustrator. So the idea behind this one is that you're going to be learning the scissors tool and then using the warp effect a lot. It's the whole idea is that you're wanting to do a pen tool like drawn artwork. So that's what we're creating today. And so we're going to start first with opening up Adobe Illustrator, doing the new file, and it's going to be 850 by 850 pixels. And they don't say anything about this whatever color it wants to be. So you can do the CKMY or you can do the RGB. That's up to you. But I am going to do create. And then first things first, we're going to create this body. So I'm going to go over here and grab our ellipses tool. And it doesn't need to have a fill. So we're just going to have a stroke on it. And then I'm going to go over here and grab our rounded rectangle tool. Not rounded, the rectangle tool. Draw that out. And then grab our ellipses tool again and create a slightly larger ellipses. So whenever I put that together, it should look kind of like this. Okay, where the head's a little bit smaller than the legs. So in step 2, we are going to take our rectangle and then go to Effect, Warp, Arc. And so it's going to be a vertical arc at 55%. And then the distortion is going to be 30 for the horizontal and 29 for the vertical. Okay. So you see it's a little bit tinier up here at the top. That's what we want. And then we're going to distort this leg area too. So we're going to go to Effect, Warp, and then this time we're going to do Flag. And so it's going to be a horizontal flag at 15%, and then 30% and 0% for our distortion. So now then for step 4, I'm going to get this lined up the way I want it. There we go. I'm going to highlight everything. Or hold on, I got to do here. For my irregular shapes, I need to go to Object, Expand Appearance, then go down here on the circle and do Object, Expand Appearance. You don't have to do it for the top circle. Okay, and then I'm going to select all of them, go over here to my Pathfinder, and do Unite. Okay, so once you unite, then we're going to go over here and kind of smooth it out. We're going to use our direct selection tool to do that, mostly. May have to zoom in. I'd have to zoom in. Let's see. Or even get rid of anchor points. There we go. Okay, so once we're happy with our shape, we're going to move on from step 4 into step 5. And so we're going to grab our ellipses. And then we're going to get our convert to anchor point over here, which is also add another anchor point, and click on the sides here so that they get real pointy. And then we're going to click on our shape and go to Effect, Warp, Flag, and this time it's going to be horizontal, 70%, and then 0 and 0. So that it's the shape. So in step 6, we're going to create some hair. Although here, so what we want to do is do that object, expand appearance, and then we're going to copy and paste it. It's pretty important that you do that object expand appearance correctly. I tried to do this tutorial earlier in the week and it completely messed up the hair whenever I didn't do that correctly. Made it a pain in my butt. Okay. So I'm looking at how I want the shape of all of this to look whenever I'm done. Because whenever I unite it, all this isn't going to be there. It'll make one shape. Or it should. Just like it does here. I am no artist, so I don't look as pretty as that, but I try. It's going to be creating basically the main. So when you get the look that you want, I'm going to select it all. Hold on my shift key so I can unselect our unicorn body and then go over here and click on that unite button again. So it did create two shapes. What can happen with that is that this was not overlapped enough. So I'm going to try that again. Oops. Let's see that. Forgot to. There you go. Okay, so now we have all one shape for our hair, and I can use my direct selection tool to kind of mess around if I want to. But right now I'm fine with that. And so using that same technique, I'm going to create his tail. Her tail, whatever. There you go. So I can hold down my shift key and then select all three. And then I'll go over there and do that unite button again. So it's all one shape. So that's step 7. In step 8, we're going to create the legs. So we're going to create a vertical ellipse and then go to, let's see. So we're going to create that vertical ellipse, and then we're going to go to Effect, Warp, Flag. It's going to be vertical, -50 on this one. Make sure you do the -50. And then the vertical distortion is also going to be -50. So it creates kind of that shape. And then I want to go to that object, expand appearance. And then for our hoof, it's going to be too tiny. And I zoom in on this to create it. Ellipses. I want to rotate them so that they create a heart. Then I'm going to select them and unite them. So then I can go down here and create a hoof. There we go. So what it says to do here is to unite them, and then you should have two shapes along irregular ellipses for the leg and heart shape for the hoof. And then it wants you to click on the leg and do Control C, Control F instead of Control V because it'll paste it right in the spot. And then while keeping that selected, hold down your Shift key and select the hoof. And then go over to our Pathfinder, do intersect. I'm not quite sure what that does, but apparently it intersects it. I have not noticed whether or not that makes a big difference. It doesn't unite them as one shape. It just shows you where they intersect. So what I do is then select both. And then I'm going to hit Control minus to zoom out. And now I have one leg. And I can go on to step 9, which is Control paste. Based on that. If I think it needs to be a little bit larger to be proportional. There we go. There we go. And then here in step 10, we're going to make the ear. So that's making an ellipse, and then taking our direct selection tool, we're going to click on the anchors and bring them down so that it creates that shape. And then we're going to copy paste it. Whole thing. Smaller so that it creates the inner ear. See if I need to adjust my hair a little bit. Oh. There we go. And then step 11 is to do the same thing, basically. We're going to create the horn. And so I can click on one of my anchors and then use my down arrow key to create the shape. A little pointed. It's going to go up there on the head. A little bit on the hair. Didn't make my hair poofy enough. Okay, so then for step 12, we're going to create our shape here, our ellipses. And then this is where we're going to start learning about that cut tool. So with the scissors, which the shortcut on that is C, I'm going to click on this anchor and that anchor. And so now that creates two different parts. And so this one's going to be the arc for the eye. I'm going to copy it and paste it, and it's going to become the arc mouth. And then this one, I'm going to see if I can't make that smaller. There we go. Going to go up here over this hairline because it's going to help make it look like the horn is coming out of the head. And then going to get two little bitty ellipses, hold down my shift key so that it stays nice and circular, and copy paste. I can create two little nostrils. And then use my line segment tool, zoom in here. Use that line segment tool to create some eyelashes. Okay. So when I'm happy with that, I'm going to move on to step 14. And with that, we have everything drawn and placed. And now we're going to make our image more natural. And so before we do that, I'm going to do Control A, right click, group, and then ungroup. We're just trying to make sure nothing's grouped together. And so we're going to cut out some unnecessary parts. What I'm going to do is come back after I do that, so that way you're not watching me just undo things, but just to show you what I'm going to do. I can click on an image and then hit C and then V. And see it's cutting it away. So I'm going to cut the unnecessary part so that it looks more like this, and I will be right back.